It's a hot spring night when Aliquippa Police Captain Doug Edgell is on patrol and hears shots ring out through the city. He quickly discovers the shots aren't just random fire. Within minutes, police from around the city respond here to the area of Wykes and Davis Streets, where they find Will-Motton has been shot multiple times in an exchange of gunfire. Investigators develop a list of suspects, but they remain unable to answer the most critical question of all: who fired the shots that killed Motton? I'm LeVar McBride, and this is Cold Case, Beaver County.
911, what is your emergency?
You got three people of interest still, say, I do. Three people of interest, then you got that blank face.
That's why nobody really knows if she is dead or alive.
He was set free and he was set free to go kill.
We've never gotten that one break. We've never gotten that one break. You know, we will though.
I was working out as an extra detail as a traffic car. I was sitting at Mill Street and I actually had the windows up and the air on, and that as I was monitoring the traffic, I heard just multiple gunshots that were very loud. And I asked county if they received any calls about any shots being fired, and they said no. When I was sitting at the light, I actually rolled my windows down to see if I could hear any more shots. And then as I did that, there was a second volley of shots that were fired. And then at that time, the dispatcher got on and said, start heading towards Wykes and Davis, that they're getting reports of shots being fired.
It's May 23, 2009, and there is a crowd of people hanging out around the area when 24-year-old Motton is shot.
On that night, Will-Motton was sitting on top of a car, and at least three guys came from two different locations and proceeded to start shooting at Will.
From this corner comes out a gunman in a mask, and he runs down and he begins to fire on victim Will-Motton.
One witness told police the shooters got within 6 feet of Motton.
He ended up rolling off of the car and took off running, and when he went down the street, he did return fire, trying to protect his life.
He begins to backtrack and run this way. The gunman is chasing him.
Motton runs around the corner to White Street. He has been shot in the torso and leg, but he's still alive.
He falls right here in this vicinity. He falls on his back. As he's falling, he fires one shot in the air. Okay, and this is where he rested at until he was taken away by medic rescue.
So he was a little uncooperative in saying who had shot him.
Motton was flown to a Pittsburgh hospital where he died a short time later, having never disclosed who shot him. Police did find evidence at the scene, including numerous shell casings and the mask believed to have been worn by one of the gunmen. While witnesses did talk to the police, not everyone was forthcoming about what they saw or what they knew.
They gave us information. Some of it was pretty uniform and seemed to match each other's statements. There was some that was a little different, had different variations on who they saw, what they saw.
Sometimes when things happen in town here, they cooperate, but not to the degree that they should. It was a little hectic. There's people out there that saw it, that could come forward, that I believe haven't.
The police were familiar with Motton.
I knew Will. He was obviously somebody from here in the Aliquippa area and stuff. We had dealt with him on several occasions, talked to him on several occasions. He was just one of the guys on the street that we dealt with from time to time and things like that. We knew he was having some problems with some people in the community. Other than that, he really never caused too much trouble for us.
Police were told Motton had a dispute with some people over money. Another person thought there was a dispute over a woman, but there was also a long-standing clash between city neighborhoods that may have been behind the shooting.
We had this former adversarial relationship between Linmar and the former Griffin Heights. That's no longer, but during that time period, there was this significant adversarial relationship going back and forth of shootings and beatings.
Within months of Motton's killing, other members of his circle also became victims of violent crime.
In this particular case, the friends and associates of Will Motton, they died tragically as well. And there was some, as we began with the investigation and through the entire investigation, we tried to look at the connections. As we, again, looked at the cases, the people and the names, the same names kept surfacing who may have been the perpetrators of the events.
One of those men was James Lizard Little, whose killing also remains unsolved. Another victim was Darius Odom, who was shot by a man named Marquez Priest, who is serving a life sentence for the killing.
We're hoping that people would have a change of heart from the time of the event up until this point, that they may come forward with information that would help us solve cold cases in this manner.
Investigators have had more recent tips that have allowed them to continue working the case.
We have had information up to 2014. We have conducted interviews. I believe myself, the Beaver County Detective Bureau, and Aliquippa Police Department are confident that we have good leads to who may have committed this homicide. But we just need a little bit more from the community of people that were out there to assist us in solving this.